Yes, guys, welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. It's Monday. It's mid-game week. 5 of the 10 games have gone so far. But we don't care too much about that because today is all about bonus points, which is fun. The bonus point show, Dean, is probably one of my favourite of the year. I love chatting BPS. And you don't have as much time for it necessarily as I do, which is always fun for the sort of the juxtaposition between the two of us.
I just don't think I still understand it, mate. I've listened to you talk about it at least 3 times on special shows now, and anytime it comes to me trying to actually figure it out in my team, I'm like, what did Gianni say again? So I could definitely do with a refresh, mate, on what I should be looking for, especially because now we've got players like De Bruyne back in the game. I'm thinking like, I assume I now definitely need De Bruyne after watching him for half an hour, but even more so with the bonus points aspect of it.
He's definitely the BPS monster in that team. Like, De Bruyne played half an hour, right? And he got a goal and assist. But in a game where there's other goals and other assists, it's not a banker that you get a goal and assist and you're going to get 3 bonus in a high-scoring game. But in that 30 minutes, he still clocked brilliant underlyings in the BPS. Key passes, for example, successful dribbles, crosses, like he's a bonus beast. So yeah, definitely one to consider when we're looking ahead to now we know that Man City have a double in game week 25. So double game week 25 is a big one. We've just done a poll. Do you know how the bonus point system works? So obviously you're all familiar with it, but don't all tick yes. Only tick yes if you completely know. There's 32 metrics that take up the bonus point system.
Do you know the 32 off the top of your head?
No, I definitely don't. I definitely don't. But I reckon you can only say yes in this poll if you know around half of them. So if you know around half of them, I reckon that's a yes. Like, you don't have to know all 32. But we're going to run through the 32 today, which is fine. We'll give you some examples. And we've got a game. I've got a quiz for you, Dean, but also every single one of you in the chat. We're going to start that quiz in about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to wait for a few more to get online. But it's a bonus points quiz, which is loads of fun. But Dean, I guess we should just touch on the weekend so far, shouldn't we? Because you mentioned the Man City game and De Bruyne. Before we get into BPS only chat, let's just review, I guess, the game week so far. So City, like, do we look at De Bruyne and go, yes, we need him in our teams? Or do we go, it's completely influenced by the return of Haaland? Because if you can only have one or the other, and we think Haaland is fit for Burnley in 22, maybe Haaland's still the one. Or is there a way of getting them both into your team, as well as Salah when he returns in game week 24-25? That's very much a threemium draft, which is possible. And that's kind of what I think I want to head towards, because we're going to see Man City before game week 22 in the FA Cup, a few days before. So we should know about Haaland by then. Like, if Haaland's in the squad versus Spurs and gets 30 minutes, he could be good for a starting game week 22. And I think now we know De Bruyne, despite what he said post-match, I think he's ready for a starting game week 22. Like, it's the end of January.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got 11.8 mil in the bank. And in my team, De Bruyne would step in for Foden. So he's... 8 million on himself already, so I would phase that into it. And then I've got Alvarez up front, so I know I can get De Bruyne and Haaland as and when they're needed. Now, knowing that City are playing Burnley next, Haaland probably not playing in that one by the sound of things at the moment. I just can't see that I won't be getting De Bruyne for Burnley at home based on what we've just seen there. So I think I'll be bringing him in for Foden, who still played well, but now, in terms of planning, it doesn't really matter how well he's playing. He's just not got anything like the same guarantees of role, starts, points. I mean, you probably rolled them all into this. So I want both, mate. I want De Bruyne and I want Haaland, and I think I'll be able to get both pretty easily. But obviously, the detriment of that is that I've kept this money aside all this time, and in weeks like this one, I feel like it's been felt a little bit because I haven't taken punts on the rest of my team, and I've been prioritizing keeping this money there in case I needed it for a moment like this. So, yeah, I think that's the key thing for me. It wasn't been a great week so far. Obviously, I didn't go Cole Palmer captain. I did go Alvarez, so that backfired. But
Cole Palmer.
You can't be much calmer than Cole Palmer, can you?
What sort of game do you think he had? Because I didn't watch it, and I was listening on the radio for the first 20 minutes, and then I had to go. He obviously scored the pen, and I've seen the highlights. Like, it didn't actually feel like one of his brighter games. Like he was good as always. Like he was neat and tidy. But in terms of goal threat, I didn't think there was a massive amount outside of the pen. Bit of an assist threat for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't analyze this game. It was rubbish from both ends of it. I mean, if they'd have abandoned it halfway through, I'm not sure too many people would have cared. It was a dreadful game of football. You've won it on a pen. It's the less bothered I think I've ever been about losing a West London derby. Yeah. I was like, okay, we didn't deserve to. Did they deserve to? Not really, but we did foul him in the box. So stupid tackle. And there's all this talk about Gusto and should he have got a red card? I mean, he probably should, but he didn't. So whatever. I feel very strange about it. And Cole Palmer, I think the reason we got him, mate, is because we know he is going to be so cool from the spot. And with Raheem Sterling and the way he twists people up and he's won more penalties than anyone ever.
That's an amazing stat. That stat is amazing, isn't it? Sterling has won more than anyone ever in the Premier League already.
Yeah, it's not a massive surprise, though, is it?
No,
when you go through his career. But he still got it. And the fact is, it wasn't a dive, it was a pen.
Yeah, he draws the foul. Like he draws that so well. He's an absolute pro when it comes to drawing the foul. There's contact, so
yeah. Definitely. Adam says some of Palmer's touches second half were delicious. Mate, he just finds football so easy.
Time and space all the time as well.
All the time, no matter what situation he's in, no matter who's coming to him, he'll just a couple of taps of that left foot, the ball's gone and it's moved into a better area so quickly. Like he's just calmness is exactly how I've described this guy, and horrible to play against. Like when you're a fan of the opposition in a match like that, you don't want to see Palmer stepping up to the spot because there was not a single. I mean, Leno has got to have one of the worst rates when it comes to saving pens anyway. There was not a single part of me. I just walked out the room when I made a cup of tea because I was like, it's going to go in. And I'll find out at half time whether it counted or not. And to my dismay, it did. But that's pretty much where I would be at on it, mate. You got to keep him, even if he doesn't look ultimately dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be 8 million next year, says Leo is good. 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Leo. You're bang on there. I'd be surprised if he was anything too far away from 8 million. Danny B, hit the like button, guys. Thanks, Danny. Good call there to action. If you can all hit the like, that'd be amazing. I think we've been going 10 minutes now, so we can drop the idea of the game. So I'm going to ask you all just to it's probably going to be a bit of a pen and paper job. For some of you, if you're on laptop or on phone, you can load your notes. If you're on YouTube Premium, and you can minimize us and go onto notes. Or if you've got your laptop there, you can bring up a Word document. But just write out a list of all the teams in the Premier League, A to Z, right? So all 20. And then next to that, we're going to ask you, and you don't have to do it all straight away. Like you've got 40 minutes to do this. Next to the name of the team, write down who you think in their team has clocked the most bonus this season so far. Not BPS total underlying numbers, but actual bonus points outcome. So where did they get? They got 3 in one game, 2 in another. They're on 6. Are they the best in their team? Probably not. Most that are best in their team are anywhere between like 10 and 20. So A to Z. So we'll make it easier, and we'll work through at the end of the show and see how many you got. I reckon a good score for this would be 14. I don't know. I wish I'd played it myself, but I now know the outcome when I was doing the research this morning. So top BPL haulers for each team, as CH has summarized. We will go through at the end of the show. So no looking, because obviously you can filter on the FPL site by bonus points. It's very easy to show this. And Dean, you can play along in all the longer sections where I'm talking as well. So by the end, we'll have time to go through all 20, and let's see how you get on. There's a few surprises in there. Shall we crack on with actual bonus points and understanding the 32 metrics? That's what many of you are here for. And what we'll do, we'll go through the rules, or the metrics, and then we'll show some actual performances this season and how that player clocked 3 bonus. So you can see how the bonus beasts accumulate these points. So let's start, shall we? Starting off with AFC Bournemouth first, please, not Arsenal, says Mark. Yeah, okay. We won't worry too much about the order, but thanks, Mark. I think I put Bournemouth in third after Aston Villa and Arsenal. Oops. In fact, on the FPL website, I did it on the order of the FPL website, and they have Arsenal, Villa, Bournemouth, but it doesn't matter too much. So look, let's load up how are the BPS calculated. So first and foremost, and look, we're looking at 32 metrics here. We're looking at players that play 60 plus minutes. So straight away, when you're looking at players like, I don't know, Richarlison, although I think he did the other day get 90, he's often getting hooked. He's often not getting, he doesn't always get to 60. He usually does. Forward scoring a goal. This is a big one. Dean, if Richarlison was a forward, he could have got bonus. He could have got more than, I think he got 1 bonus at the weekend. He could have got 2. Because he's a midfielder, he only gets 18 instead of a forward getting 24, even though he's playing up front. That's quite a funny one, isn't it? Like, you'd expect attacking mids to be rewarded in the same way as a number 9, I'd have thought. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, that was weird. Yeah, you absolutely would expect that, mate. This is where I have to start focusing. I have to treat this like a school lesson, and actually a school lesson I'm interested in, and is going to actually give me something positive to take into the rest of my life, because I don't let this information sink in. So carry on, because I need to listen.
Yeah, so loads of fans will always say, "Oh, he was man of the match. Why didn't he get 3 bonus points?"
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. Like, if we understand the 32 metrics, we should pick players accordingly. So I've been annoyed recently. Phil Foden is always in the conversation for player of the match. Against Newcastle at the weekend, Ali McCoist was asked on TNT, who's man of the match? And he went, "Oh, it's between Rodri and Foden for me." Personally, I'd have given it to De Bruyne. And he gives it to Rodri. And it's like, Foden was nowhere near the bonus points in that game and actually blanked in FPL. But the best player doesn't always get the FPL points, as we know. And it's the same with the bonus point system. So if Mo Salah was a forward, his bonus points total would be way higher. But then he wouldn't get 5 points for a goal. He'd only get 4, and he wouldn't get all the clean sheet points. So he scores higher as a midfielder, but in the bonus point system, he actually loses out a little bit by being a mid, because he only gets 18 for every goal, not 24.
Okay. Get you.
So goalkeepers and defenders, like when they score, again, like if a centre-back scores, you go, "Oh, he's going to get 3 bonus." Not necessarily. If he doesn't keep a clean sheet, then the goal doesn't count for a huge amount, because he only gets 12, right? He only gets half of what Darwin gets when he scores, for example. And again, if it's the match-winning goal, so the goal that made it 2-1 when it was 1-1 and the team won 4-1, they go, who scored the second goal in the victory, the 4-1 victory? Well, the second goal for that team was the one that got them over the line. Therefore, that's the match-winning goal. Extra little bump. So that's kind of the wider sphere. And then let's move forward to more player-specific stuff and more intricacies. That stuff I like, though, Dean. I always think you should get one for playing 90. Like, playing 60 plus, you get 6. But in the Serie A fantasy game, it's when you play 90, you get another little bonus.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'd like that.
Yeah, I think so. Because we always talk about, should we change the FPL rules and the points? I think the points and rules are all fine. Like, you get 5 for a goal. If you're a midfielder, you get the clean sheet point. But I would be interested to look at actually the 32 metrics of the bonus point system and going, do we tweak that a little bit? And something like playing 90, I quite like.
Definitely.
The assisting's really interesting, because yes, you get 9 BPS. So if you're a defender, let's say you're Pedro Porro, and you score a goal, you only get 12 BPS. If you assist, you get 9 BPS. There's not much in it. So for a defender to get an attacking return in the bonus point system, little between it. So again, this is why I love defenders that create chances, because they will clock. That's why fullbacks score better than centre backs, because the assists and the creativity, a lot of these creative things, pass completion, key passes, successful dribbles, fullbacks will get that centre backs don't always get. Like, when do centre backs create a big chance?
Rarely, unless it's like a knockdown or something, or a pass that was never intended to be an assist. Yeah.
Like Pedro Porro yesterday, creating a big chance. That's where the player receiving the ball should score, which I think is done by what's the XG of that player's shot. So let's say Pedro Porro puts in a cross, Romero hits the bar from a header. That was probably a 0.4 XG shot. Therefore, it's clocked as a big chance. I don't quite know where the threshold of big chance lies, but it's something like, I don't know, anything over 0.3 is a big chance.
His deliveries, by the way, are just absolutely ridiculous. The consistency with which he is putting chances on a plate is just ridiculous.
Yeah, they had so many corners yesterday, didn't they? Do you think when Maddison comes back in, Pedro Porro keeps them? Because they were sharing them before, but I would just have Porro on every set piece going, because Mads is very good at them, but Porro seems to hit him with power as well as precision.
Yeah, I prefer Porro's, but it'll be an ego thing, and Mads won't let him do it. So I have to carry on the center.
Porros are quite flat, aren't they? They're like flat deliveries, which makes it so hard to defend.
And the thing is, I always think with like someone like Maddison, I'd rather if you've got someone else that can take that good a corner, I'd rather have Maddison somewhere on the edge of the box so that if it does fall out, he can do something with it.
Yeah, and he'll make the right call in the edge of the box. Like,
Yeah.
Porro could blast one, but
Or I'll probably blast
Maddison
it,
will
but
pick the
Maddison
right
will
call.
he'll be a bit more intricate about it. Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Pass completion, again, you have to hit 30 passes to get the bonus when it comes to the percentage. So this applies to goalkeepers as well. So when a goalkeeper hits over 30 passes, their pass completion's usually like 80% plus, because a lot of the goalkeepers' kicks nowadays are rolling out to the centre back or full back.
Yep.
So again, there's a lot of keepers in the league that clock BPS for passing, which is really nice. Like, that's a nice little bump for them. But then there's certain keepers in the league that actually don't get much of the ball, and when they do, they just blitz it long. So again, players like the Chelsea keeper will always pass out from the back, for example. Whoever's in goal, that's just how Poch wants to play. Postecoglou will do similar. Key passes, successful dribbles, successful open play crosses, another one. Again, a lot of these are great for your creative players. So loads there with creativity. And if we take the best bonus beast in the game for creativity, it's De Bruyne. All of these things, he's brilliant at. Like, even dribbles yesterday, it's very few players clock more than like a dribble a game. Like, players just don't dribble much anymore. De Bruyne does. He carries. That counts. Really struggling to get the Man United bonus point magnet. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have I think I guessed that one. That one, I mean, he's not been brilliant this season, but he does clock good bonus.
I've got an obvious name that I'm going to stick next to the United one, actually, while you're chatting.
Yeah. Keep going on that one, Dan. We'll give you some more hints as we go through. All right, let's move on from passing and creativity. Defensive. And again, like, any player can qualify for these, but defenders and goalkeepers and defensive midfielders are more likely to clock points here. Saving a pen, if you're a goalkeeper, I think you get more for saving a penalty than you do a goal. I think if a goalkeeper scores, they get 12. And if they save a penalty, they get 15. Like, save a penalty and you're pretty much getting bonus points, no matter, even if you didn't keep a clean sheet. So again, a keeper saves a penalty, they get more in the bonus points than they do for keeping an entire clean sheet over the 90. That sounds ludicrous to me.
Yeah.
Reward a keeper for keeping a clean sheet more than saving a one-off shot.
That is mad. And that explains a lot as to why I've seen points handed out in the past that I'm just not understanding.
Yeah, exactly. Successful tackles, great. Saves, recoveries, clearances, blocks, interceptions. Every time they clock 2 of those, they get a point. So sometimes when I'm watching a game, I watch live the bonus points feed, and I'll be like, "Oh, my player's just made a block," and I'm like, "Oh, he hasn't gone up on the BPS. It's because he's got to get 2 every time." But players like Azpilicueta used to be amazing at this. Azpilicueta clocked up blocks, clearances, and interceptions. Like, honestly, you've never seen anything like it. He was so good in the BPS because of that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was about his game, but he just reads the game so well.
Yeah.
Asp. One of my favorite for bonus points. If anyone can remember some big Asp hauls, then do let us know in the chat. And guys, if you're liking the stream so far, I get that it's something a little bit more detailed to what we usually do, but do hit the like and subscribe button. If you're just joining, we're going to go through an A to Z of all 20 teams. Who is the biggest bonus points monster in that team so far this season? Who's clocked the most bonus points? So you can play at home, pen and paper, get it up on your computer screen. No cheating. We'll do the results at the end of the show. So that's the defensive stuff. Let's have a look now at some of the more attacking stuff. No, we've got more defensive. So defensive deductions. This is nice. There's attacking deductions and defensive deductions. Again, there's 32 metrics. So as soon as you pick up a card, obviously you're going to get minus BPS. We expect that. But also, if you concede an own goal, that really hits you, -6. Conceding a penalty, -3. But even conceding a foul, genuinely, I've had players on 3 bonus points in the 90th minute, and I'm there watching it on TV, but watching it on my phone on the BPS tracker, and I see my player commit a foul and go, no, he's going to drop to 2 bonus now. And if he gets booked for that foul, he goes from 3 to 2 or to 1. I've seen players on 3 go to 0 just off conceding a foul in the last minute of a football match because he got yellow carded. Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Mate, you're killing yourself by watching that during a game.
Yeah, I know. If you do want to watch, then on the it's not quite live, but on the FPL app, just on the standard app, when you go into the fixtures and you click on the fixture at the bottom where it says where the bonus points are, I just keep refreshing that and it changes during the game.
Yeah. I've done that before, just like in desperation more than anything, I think. But
yeah, it's usually a minute or two behind. So yeah, error leading to a shot. Again, that's an interesting one. You forget. So I don't know. Van Dijk passes the ball back to Alisson. It's intercepted, and it's just a shot. Nothing happens. It's just a shot. But still, that works against you. So yeah, that's quite nice. I quite like that there's things like that in there. Defensive deductions there. Wait till you see the attacking deductions, guys. They're quite funny. I mean, you'll completely understand why players like Darwin can actually finish on negative sometimes. Attacking deductions, here we go. So missing a pen obviously works against you. And Mo Salah missed a pen recently and still got, I think, 3 bonus points, but because he got goals and assists in the game. But when he missed that pen, it's like, not only is he getting minus points in FPL for missing a penalty, I think it's -2, but then he's also like, you're like, oh, he's not going to get bonus points today now, but he can still go and make that up in the game. Missing big chances. Again, like players like Darwin, he can miss 3, 4, 5 big chances a game. Really, like if he scores a goal, it's 24.
Yeah.
But he could probably clock 24 in minus just from missing big chances and being caught offside.
Yeah, it won't be far off that, would it? Like
being tackled again, like just a simple being tackled works against you. And again, shots off target. So even when it's not a big chance and you're shooting from the edge of the area, if that's not a shot on goal, and it could be a worldy effort just sailing past the post, you get penalised. That's harsh.
It's quite harsh.
That is harsh.
Especially on Darwin. Yeah, he's definitely a good example of this. Him and Nicholas Jackson are just like sat at home, just like crying reading this.
Yeah, I think the BPS is harsh on forwards when you look at this, because it's, forwards will be offside, even, through no fault of their own often, or missed chances that they would never expect.
Especially with VAR and you're giving offside at like this, like
yeah,
it's offside like never before, isn't it? So hang on, you could have a moment when you think your players scored a goal, and then they go from the bonus points of scoring that goal to does that suddenly? Well, it would just be caught offside. Wouldn't be missing a big chance, would it? It would just be caught offside instead of the missing big chance.
Yeah. Okay. But still, it can.
Yeah, or you're going in the wrong direction suddenly. Yeah,
definitely work against you. And this is why, because forwards are so penalised here. This is why they're so well rewarded for scoring a goal. When we spoke earlier about, a midfielder gets 18 for scoring, but a forward gets 24. This is why forwards need to be able to make up for the loss in all these negatives with a goal. So if your forwards are scoring goals, they pretty much get bonus. And when we go through the best performing players from each team, you'll see probably mainly midfielders, but you'll see a fair few forwards in there.
Do you reckon there are like manual checks that take place? Do you think this is all automated, or is it like it's all automated?
Yeah, I think so. Mark's just said in the chat, how can Opta update stats in real time during the game and FPL take hours to update league tables? Yes. Yeah.
That's what made me wonder, like, is there any like side of this that is like human interaction deciding whether it was a missed chance or it literally just like, no, you were here, you missed, -3?
I think it's the latter. But there has been changes in the bonus point system. So usually after the game, 5 minutes after, it's fairly locked in. But when FPL at the end of the day, say on a Saturday, so for the Chelsea game, 12:30 kickoff, I checked at, say, 3:30 after the game, and Colwill was on 3 bonus alongside Palmer and Petrovic. All 3 of them got the same BPS score. They're all on for 3. I then checked at 5 o'clock. So 2-3 hours after the game had ended, and Colwill was down from 28 to 24. So something had happened where they had reviewed something and they hadn't logged it. And they'd gone, oh, actually, that wasn't a key tackle because it wasn't his foot that made that tackle. It was someone else's foot that made that tackle or whatever. So sometimes there are errors, but usually after the game, it's pretty locked in. But usually, I don't know, from the 10 fixtures, when they finish, you'll probably see changes to 2-3 of them.
Fair enough.
So no, it's an interesting one, that. And Colwill owners were disappointed. FPL Chai Dean, who's going to be on the show on Friday. He's got Colwill and he was celebrating. I think he was up to like world number 5. And he said if Colwill had got 3 bonus points instead of the 1 he got, he would have been world number 3.
No way. That is such fine margin when you're at that level of it.
just from bonus points. Like, it really does have a big impact in FPL. When you look at the amount of bonus points your team clocks in any given week, don't neglect the bonus point system. It's a huge source of points for all FPL managers and
I
all
can't wait
FPL
to speak
players.
to Chai and just find out like how he's handling the nerves of this situation, because like I assume like he is as obsessed with the game as you are. And I can't imagine if you were 5th in the world right now, the angst you would be feeling would be through the roof.
I don't know if I could do content. I think I'd switch off
Yeah, I imagine you'd have to, because
because
you
I'm giving stuff away.
yeah. Yeah. You don't
All
want to
my
give an
thought
edge to all the people
processes.
around you. Yeah.
Yeah, like I spoke. So I'm in a my ultras group with Chai and Ali, right?
Mm.
And Ali from last year, I said, Ali, like, meet Chai, Chai meet Ali. Ali, have you got any tips for Chai? And his biggest tip was, don't tell anyone what you're doing ever. And Chai, I completely understand why, isn't it has to a little bit go against that, because this is a guy that wants to get into FPL like content creation. So he wants to make the most of being world number 5 or world
Oh
number
yeah.
3.
Yeah.
And Ali's probably a little bit different to that. So Ali did get a YouTube channel, but didn't really go for it, and like made a couple of vids and was like, no, I'm going to keep my cards close to my chest, and made a couple of appearances in Chasing Green Arrows. And then even towards the end of the season was like, I can't come on because I don't want to give anything away.
And I get it, man. Like, because
Yeah.
if I was going up against him and I knew he was on a channel, I'd go and watch to see what he said.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
You
I
would.
did the same. Yeah. So yeah, FPL Chai, ladies and gents, 1:00 on Friday. Do not miss it. Me and Dean are going to be talking to Chai about his wider strategy moving forward, and he'll tell us. He's really open about it. We'll talk to him about his team and his moves moving forward, and just talk generally about how we think the second half of the season is going to go, and some favorite picks for him. Might even ask him to maybe pick out, I don't know, his top 5 differentials or something like that, because that's where he's won, Dean. Like, this season, he's not owned Haaland once. How mad is that?
I just can't believe he's even done that. Like, but it's worked, because like obviously it hasn't been a great season for him in any aspect. And if he's been on the right players at the right time, you'd have done much better, which he clearly managed to nail.
Yeah.
Big risk though.
Huge risk.
I want to know if he's getting back on him when he comes back.
He did say he was like, he'll be straight back on him now. He was like, now the time has come.
It's too risky, not right.
Before he could like spread the funds and accumulate points in other areas, which made up for the defeat, even when Haaland did go and bag a brace. But he was like, now there's just not that same value out there for him. He's like, he can't make up that value, he doesn't think. But I reckon he'll be on De Bruyne as well, which will be interesting to get his take on. So look, that's the bonus point system kind of in a nutshell. If anyone's got any questions about Dean, it used to be FPL used to use literally a man in the stand. It was like say man of the match. They had someone at every FPL ground giving out the 3, the 2, and the 1.
Mate, do you know what? When I first started this job, I would have. So I'd be sent to matches, and like you'd have loads of different jobs because I'd be at an agency, and I'm glad that this wasn't taken as seriously back then, because I would be like having to write a match report but also keep stats, because no one was keeping stats when I was like set into all this. And so you'd be like, oh, and I'd get to like there'd be a point in the game where I'd be like, oh no, I haven't been doing the stats, and I'd sat there think, I definitely remember they had a corner, so I'd like mark that. And I'd be trying to remember in the last 10 minutes if there was any fouls or corners. So dodgy, like completely untrustworthy I was when it came to stats.
Mate, that is absolutely brilliant. I love it. So tell us, so what would that be like? So you're working for an agency, go into matches. What would be your brief then? You'd be working for multiple different channels. So one channel would want a match report, one channel would want a player ratings, or
all sorts. Yeah. So like I would go to a game. So I'd have the agency, and in the week, basically what would happen is you'd get newspapers ordering the game that they weren't going to cover themselves with staff. So say I was going to, what quite had happened is, say Watford when they were in the Premier League and I was covering them a lot. So Watford were playing against Crystal Palace and it wasn't a big match for the week. And what would happen is you'd suddenly have, so Dean, you've got to write for the Sunday Mirror, the Sunday Telegraph, the News of the World, the People. You might have like 5 Sunday reports.
The same match report, 5 different versions.
Same match report 5 times. And not only that, you would have to file it before the end, because when this first started, when it was like dial-up internet, it wasn't reliable. And so in the stand, you'd have a few points right? And you wouldn't be able to get a line out, or it was just, and often you would end up on the phone, literally calling a lady sat on the other end of the phone who would take your copy, and you would literally read out every word of your match report, and they would type it out.
My God.
And mate, this isn't that long ago. This is like 15 years ago. And then they would do that. So you'd have to start phoning your copy through it like 1 hour into the game, and you'd have to like be predicting what was going to happen to leave it open. Did each publication have different styles? Yeah. So like I would leave the bulk of the match report typically the same, because like whether you're reading the Sun or the Times, you can get by on the, you know, the play-by-play stuff. You can leave pretty generic. But obviously at the top, if it's a tabloid, you've got to be sensational. And if it's a broadsheet, you would have to be a little bit more smart and clever and write into it a little bit more. So that was complicated enough. But then on top of that, you also had to do the match ratings. Also, you're doing them 20 minutes before the game's even finished.
Yeah.
So you're having to do that. And there would then be Monday match reports. So in order to do the Monday match reports, you've got to get quotes from players for a different story on the same game.
Oh, interesting.
So you've got to send that over by the next morning, but a totally different version of what you've done. Yeah. But speaking to the player is impossible when you've got to be in the other press conference to speak to a manager for your Sunday. So you'd be doing people favor. Could you get me the quotes from that? You get me the quotes from that. Like, it was chaos. It did get a bit easier once, you know, Wi-Fi came in a bit more. It sounds mental, says that. It was the most unbelievable grounding for this industry, because nothing could ever be as hard as that. Yeah. I was at Watford when they played Reading, and there was the ghost goal and it went through the side netting.
Yeah.
We had no video replays. No one knew what had happened. Like the desk, they're ringing me saying, "Oh, on Sky Sport, on Soccer Saturday, they're saying that Watford have scored a goal and it shouldn't have counted." I was like, "Yeah, apparently." Like, we're trying to figure it out. I'll let you know. Read all about it. But honestly, yeah, Linus, God bless smartphones. Honestly, like people today just who are coming into the industry and can just like set up a YouTube channel or just like fire off a blog or some tweets and get recognized and get their point across. Like, oh man, I kind of wish everyone had to experience the old days, because I say that though, the people who had it before me, the people like that were the proper old days, they said it was amazing because you'd go abroad on a trip or you'd go away to a game.
Yeah.
No one could get out. If you didn't answer your phone, no one could get hold of you. So they would go on to trips, just be like, get there and say, "A really, really bad reception out here in Portugal. So I'll call you when I can." You basically go to the pub for the day.
I can't get away with that anymore. God.
Yeah, so you can't get away with it. But yeah, honestly, so when it comes to stats being kept and all that sort of stuff, like, yeah, we're blessed that I'm not having to do any of that stuff for you all anymore.
Mate, that is absolutely fascinating though. I've enjoyed that as much as I enjoy bonus points to chat, which is quite something.
I've got to do your quiz. When am I doing that?
Yeah, we're doing that in a minute. So guys, if you are just joining, then do write down who you think is the bonus beast for every team in the Premier League so far this season. We'll go for the answers, and I want to know your scores as well. So we'll do a little scoreboard at the end of the show.
Actually, he doesn't own a smartphone or Cole Palmer.
I just saw that. Mark. Differential Mark.
Yeah.
But you're on YouTube, which isn't the behavior of someone that doesn't have a smartphone, which is good.
Yeah. You sat there and like...
Mark still reads your match reports in newspapers.
Newspapers delivered every morning.
When you talk about going on holiday as a reporter, going overseas to cover a game, I also used to love being on holiday and not knowing the football scores, because there was foreign channels and I didn't have a mobile phone. So it'd be like, I'd wake up on a Sunday morning in, I don't know, Spain and be like, "Can we get a newspaper, Mum? Because I want to read the match reports from the games yesterday at 3:00 that I still don't know the outcome of." It's amazing.
Mate, that was great. Like, yeah, getting the papers. Like come a day late as well, yeah. Mark says he has a laptop and that's it. I've no idea how old Mark is. Like,
we love you, Mark. Mark's into old school Serie A players, isn't he? From the 90s. I remember Mark coming up with so he's at least our age. Okay. I'd say he's older than us.
How are you getting by, Mark? How are you doing this?
Yeah.
You must have a flip phone Nokia.
Are you on snake 1 or 2, Mark? He's 60 next week. Congrats, Mark.
60 next week. Fair play. Yeah, happy birthday for next week.
He is one of our proper loyal chasers, is Mark. And to all you chasers out there, thank you for supporting the channel and still watching us in weeks where there's not a huge amount of FPL action, but still loads to discuss. So hopefully you're enjoying the show. He's on a Nokia.
It is a Nokia. Go on. Absolutely.
Is it got the aerial? Is it the 5210?
Oh, I had a 3210, I think was mine. That did have Snake on it, I think.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Builder's phone, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Class. Thanks, guys.
Yourself a lot of hassle without a smartphone, to be fair. Maybe I should go back to that. Rewind the clock.
Yeah. All right, we've done some bonus beast info. Yeah. Let's have a look at some of the examples this season. This might help with your answers, and then let's go through the answers. So, so far to date, we've got a couple of performances that just stand out. Trent's clocked 3 bonus points a few times, but this is just a typical example. This is the 3-0 win against Aston Villa. These are all taken from earlier in the season, but he gets an assist. So there's no goal in this, but 2 interceptions, nice. Accurate passes. He's in that like upper echelons of the over. You have to be over 30 passes to qualify for the accuracy ones. Trent's going to do that every game with his eyes closed. 5 key passes. I think was that +2 for a key pass. That's 10 straight away, and then the crosses as well, successful crosses. So didn't score a goal, but just head and shoulders above everyone in the BPS. We can see there his score is 42. Szoboszlai is on 33. I think Szoboszlai scored in that game and maybe even got an assist. So just really good performance there by Trent. And I'm sure many will be considering Trent or maybe Salah. That's Trent and Salah for the answer for the Liverpool one. All right, let's have a look at a couple of others. Trent in midfield, Dean, is even better than Trent at right back for bonus as well, because even more passes.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
key passes too. Odegaard's another one, Dean. What's your take with it? When Odegaard's playing well, in all those metrics we've just discussed with Trent, like Odegaard is like a mini De Bruyne. Do you remember last year we were talking about him as player of the season at one point, and he was playing just like De Bruyne. Again, in the bonus point system, he performs similar to KDB when he's just not on a consistent basis. Like KDB puts in that level of performance against Newcastle with the creative side, probably like 7-8 games out of 10. Perhaps Odegaard hits that level in 4 or 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I've got him listed as my Arsenal player who would have the most points, and it's basically on the back of all the conversations we've had about exactly this. Because there are spells he goes through, to be fair, when he's not intrinsic to the goals, but he always seems to pick up bonus points along the way. So I don't know exactly how that works. If he's not got assist or a goal, can he still be on the bonus points?
Yeah.
I feel like that. This is a player that does do that.
Yeah, I think so. I think he does. Kevin De Bruyne, Trippier, Trent, Odegaard. I think all 4 of them probably this season have got bonus points without clocking in a goal or an assist. Yeah, or a clean sheet in Trent's case.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, it's because of the role in the team, isn't it? It's because of they're all given a license, I guess, that a lot of players don't get.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. And another one that used to do it a lot, Aspi would clock bonus when he's had no goal involvement. And he's sure he might have had a clean sheet, but then you're like, the other 3 defenders have had the same clean sheet points as Aspi. Why is he getting the bonus? And it just was all the underlyings were so good at the blocks, tackles, interceptions. We've got another 2 examples for you, I think. So Odegaard's just a good one to show from earlier this season and great display with 3 bonus. This is a Man City. Doku is not the answer at Man City. And these aren't the answers. But if Doku played 90 every week, he'd be close to KDB in bonus points, and that's because it's not necessarily the huge chance, the big chance created. We can see in this game against Bournemouth, he did get one. De Bruyne will often hit more than one big chance created in a game, but the key passes are like, say, a cutback, right? Think of Doku getting to the byline, a successful dribble quite often, and again, like 4 successful dribbles in this game, and a cutback to Haaland who might hit the target or not. Like that's a chance created, not a big chance created always, but it's a key pass too. 4 assists in that game. Wow. And a goal. That was some performance.
I mean, that was unbelievable, wasn't it? I mean, you don't see performances like that very often across the season, but he just blew up that day. So it was
82.
Definitely a bit special from Doku that day. And I don't know how often you can really expect to see that again from him, because I don't know how this team now changes. Now that De Bruyne will be in there, and when Haaland comes back, I don't feel like Doku will be used in that quite the same way. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I've just got some suspicion he won't be. Mark says, hoping Doku keeps it up as I have him.
I think it'll be interesting against Burnley, because what do you make of Grealish? Apparently he had his house burgled, and then I think he's been ill. But this season we haven't seen Grealish consistently starting games, and it's been like Foden on the left, Doku on the left, Grealish on the left. And last year Grealish was such a sort of mainstay in the team, and Pep goes through phases with players, and Grealish, naughty steps not the one, but he's not flavour of the month, is he?
No, and obviously there's been rumours a couple of times about Grealish leaving Man City over the past 2 years, and it wouldn't be surprised if those rumours resurfaced towards the back end of this season. I don't think Grealish wants to leave Man City by any stretch of the imagination, but I can imagine other clubs asking the question, like, is Grealish going to become available? Now, I don't know what you would even value Grealish at this point, given what they paid for him.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to see how he's ever going to get a run in this team.
Who would be the market for Grealish, do you think? Like, where could you, overseas or in? I mean,
Arsenal was the team I think would have looked at him before, and I know they've quite been tempted to try for Grealish. I actually don't think that's a bad fit either. We know
Arteta
that
does love taking he's worked with him before.
Exactly, but he's £100 million footballer. Like, what realistically are City going to sell him for, and what could Arsenal even begin to imagine paying for him? I don't think it's that. So at the moment, I don't know how you could begin to explore that. Danny says back to Villa. It would fit Villa now. It would fit Villa.
They get European football next year.
Like, it would be a great little narrative to see Grealish back at Aston Villa, and I'm sure there'll be part of him that kind of likes it. Mark says Villa would be perfect, but would he swallow his pride and would the fans wear it?
I think they would.
Of course they would.
Fine. I think they still love Grealish. I've got a mate who's a Villa fan. She adores Grealish still.
I know Villa fans that, like, he was so special for them, and like you consider the transfer he made and the amount of money it was for. It was special. British says Arsenal. Dean, we got enough. Mate, I can assure you, Arsenal are looking to sign another winger in the summer. They definitely are.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting that Martinelli can get dropped or miss games. Like, Saka doesn't, but Arteta's not 100% convinced on Martinelli, because otherwise he wouldn't be hooking him at 60 so much when he's playing well. Like, Saka gets 90 every week and Martinelli doesn't. He's played Nelson the other day instead of Martinelli. Let's have a look at another example. And then we've got quiz time, guys. Stay tuned for this. It's not too late if you're just joining. You want to put down a name against 20 Premier League clubs. Who's the best bonus beast in the team? Who's got the most bonus points this season so far in that team? We'll go for the answers in a sec. Oh, Newcastle. I think many of you will be guessing this one. Trippier is a complete beast. Like, there are games in which he hasn't scored or got assists. Like, in this game, fair enough, he did get the attacking involvement. But boy, does he show up when it comes to bonus points. In this game, I assume it was Gordon that scored the goal in a 1-0 win. Gordon there on 37. Trippier got the assist, but mops up in the bonus, 45. He gets the tackles. He gets the pass numbers are up. 4 interceptions there is useful. But that 0.80 assists was probably an accumulation of a fair few big chances, I'd have thought. Which he's just very good at. And players on set pieces are so special when it comes to bonus point system, if they're good at their set pieces. So Porro, Trippier, Ward-Prowse, those that take Reece James when he's fit is a bonus beast. When they take a successful corner or free kick straight away, that's often a chance created. If as long as that one of their players gets the head on it, straight away that goes down as a chance created. And Trips' free kicks are up there with very few. I thought Trippier actually marked Doku out the game on Saturday. Yeah, it was interesting on Saturday. I thought Doku was quieter than normal, though he's been out for a good month, hasn't he? Ice G says the ultimate bonus beast Trippier. Pretty sure last season every game 3 bonus. Yeah, it was like that earlier this season at one point as well. Very, very good example there in the bonus beast. We've got a good 12 minutes left of the show, so let's rattle through some answers. We're not going to show you yet the answers. We're going to we'll come away from this, and Dean and I can go through the 20 teams. So I've got the answers here. So we'll do the answers as we go. And Dean's going to take a guess each time, right?
Okay.
You guys, I want guesses in the chat as well. And you've got to mark as you go. So if you're just joining, you can still play. Give me your guesses, guys, for Arsenal. And Dean, give me your guess as well. Mark's gone early with Saliba.
Okay. Mine, I've already said Odegaard would be my guess.
Keep your guesses coming in, guys. We'll show a few on screen, but obviously we won't have time to do it for everyone. So get your guesses on and we'll flash them up on screen. I can see lots of Sakas and Zinchenkos. Zinchenko was, I think, the highest defender. He was higher than Saliba and Gabriel, but the answer is Odegaard, who is on 12. Good guess there, Dean. You're 1 out of 1 so far. Love this. If you get, I don't know why I had 14 in my head. I hope the producers.
I'll be happy with 14, mate.
Well.
I'll be very happy. There's a few where I've literally just got blanks at the moment because I've got no idea it'd be worthy of 1 bonus point. Right, Aston Villa.
Very few said Odegaard, by the way. Aston Villa. Mark says Watkins. What's your guess?
I did say Watkins as well. Yeah.
Surprising this one. This is one of the hard ones.
Is it?
Anyone else? Yeah, Ice G's got it. Douglas Luiz. There we go.
Yeah.
18 in the BPS because he's been on penalties as well and he scored the pens. He's been getting 18 for every goal. Watkins, I think, was very high. I mean, Douglas Luiz is on 18, Odegaard on 12. So I think Watkins is probably more than Odegaard. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even consider that Douglas Luiz.
That's why CH has him. On bonus points was what swung it for her when she bought him in.
You think Douglas Luiz is actually a good pick for your team?
Still not one for me.
No. See, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Bournemouth. Get your guesses in, team. Who'd you go for here, Dean?
I mean, I'm just going to go for the obvious shout of Solanke.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if it was anything. Yeah, I'll be surprised if it was anyone in the Bournemouth team could beat him. I don't even know who would be second.
Well, Neto was really high, and I think we did get a couple of guesses for Neto. I'm just looking now to see what the difference was. Neto in the bonus points this season. No bonus points. Where is it? I'm going to just find out because I think this was a close one. Hang on. Neto is on 10, and Solanke's on 10. So you can have either. I thought that might have been one of the dual ones. So if you've said Neto or Solanke, you get a point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll give a point for each.
I've got it. Neto. I guess that is a good shout.
Brentford.
Look, I know Mbeumo's not been playing, but I don't know who still would top him. So I'm still going to go with Mbeumo because I just feel like he's just the go-to guy in that team.
Yeah,
guess this.
The obvious ones are winning at the moment, and Mbeumo has 9, Jensen has 8, and Visser has 8. But the answer is Mbeumo with 9. Okay. At the back, Pinnock was the best on 5. Brentford defenders don't get bonus points, and I wonder if that's something to do with the fact they don't knock it around at the back much, and they don't get the pass points. I don't know. Do Brentford play it fairly direct quite a lot? I think they do. But one to observe there. But yeah, and Mbeumo is the answer. Good pick in there. And I think a lot of the chat went with Mbeumo. Com said Norgard. British 87 did go Jensen, who was just behind. Brighton.
Now, Brighton.
They do have a bonus beast.
They do. And to be honest, only because you brought Gross into your team that I'm thinking like he must be too good to be true. And it has got to be Gross.
Yeah, mate. Like when we were talking about Odegaard and KDB, I'm not saying Gross is the same as such, but it's similar roles in the team, albeit from a slightly deeper position. But Gross has 15 bonus points. To put that into perspective, Matoma's only got 7, and he's the second. Wow. Estupinan only 5. João Pedro only 9. Like Gross clearing away the bonus beast in that Brighton team.
Blimey, yeah. I did suspect that might be the case, but. Do you think he would end the season and still be in the? I guess it depends if Matoma and stuff can come through. But that was a good one. Everyone seems to have guessed that one too.
Yeah, I like that.
Everyone seems to get that. I
thought we might get a few Estupiñans in there, but no. Well played, guys.
Yeah,
Burnley.
Burnley, I find almost impossible.
Yeah,
so I've gone for Trafford just because I'm quite confident he'll at least be up there. I don't really know who even his competition would be, to be honest, if it's not Trafford.
Any other guesses, guys? It's been really slim pickings at Burnley. So Trafford's got 4. Bayer has 4. So the goalkeeper and defender 4 each. Sander Berge is the best midfielder on 3. Remember that because they've lost so many games, the bonus points are going to the opposition team.
Just a top 3, Jesus.
Although top is, and it's because he's had a couple of goals in the games he's got the goals have been match-winning goals.
No, he scored against Fulham.
It's Amdouni over Foster. So Amdouni is the answer there. I wouldn't have got that. I would have gone. I think I would have gone for Trafford as well, actually. Yeah, or Taylor.
Amdouni.
Probably may have gone Taylor.
Taylor as it would be a good shout. Amdouni, I wouldn't have even. I mean, to be honest, until he played against Fulham, I'd barely heard of him before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would never have got that.
Quick one on Chelsea. I'm guessing. Who'd you go for here, Dean?
I mean, I'm guessing it's Palmer.
Yeah,
it's got to be
14 bonus points for Palmer this season. The answer is Palmer for Chelsea. We'll go to Palace next. This is an interesting one because he hasn't played all the games, but he still clocks bonus.
See, I'm torn here. I've gone Elise, but I reckon it's a defender. Yeah, I was like, I bet like Gehi or Anderson has like probably topped him.
Stick with your guns, mate. Stick with your guns. Yeah.
Elise? Yeah. Okay.
Well played. And it is the defenders that clock the bonus other than Elise. So Elise's got 11, right? Eze's only got 3, who's the second best midfielder. Right. Edouard's got 9 because he scored a few. Anderson has 9, Johnston 7, Gehi 6, Mitchell 6. So there's a good spread at the back. And Roy Hodgson teams, the defenders do get good FPL points. But no, Elise hasn't played many, but he's completely shone this year. Fair play for all those that went Elise. I might have gone Anderson there.
I was torn for sure.
What about Everton?
Everton is, this is impossible. So my thinking with it was, right, Pickford has to be in the conversation because he's been busy. And beyond that, I was like, it could be like a Mikalenko or somebody like that if it's not. So I'm torn. I'll go Pickford, but I reckon it might be Mikalenko.
Mate, you're amazing at this game. Honestly, that is good behaviour. Pickford on 8 bonus points, the first goalkeeper to feature. Mikalenko is the best performing defender at 7 in the Everton team. And I would have gone to Corey, who is also on 7. So really tight there. But Pickford
so it was actually Pickford.
It was Pickford, and he got 3 bonus at the weekend, which nice. Well played, mate.
Oh, well, that was a surprise. I was very unsure on that one.
Yeah, a few in the chat. Mikalenko, Decore, both brilliant shouts as well. Unlucky guys, but the answer is Pickford. And I think Dean is beating the vast majority of the chat here. Well played. Fulham. I'll give you a clue. It's one of 2 players. There are a bit like earlier with was it Bournemouth?
Yeah. I mean, it has to be Leno. Has to be one. Leno's like the second top point scorer among goalkeepers. I can't believe that he wouldn't also be Fulham's top bonus point scorer.
Yeah, it's Leno and Raul Jimenez. I'm gonna blast through the next half just because I've got a work meeting in 4 minutes. Liverpool, Dean.
I gone Trent.
Oh, it is Salah, but it's close. But Salah is the answer. Luton.
I went Doherty, but I don't believe it will be right.
No, nailed it. 10.
Well played.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it might be Morris or something. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Morris was 9, I think. So close one. Man City.
Bernardo.
Yeah, Bernardo or Haaland. So you got 2 answers.
Yeah, I thought Bernardo might have pipped Haaland recently, so that's why I can now. I'm doing all right here.
Doing very
Man United.
Well. Yeah.
I know someone said earlier they were struggling, but surely it's Fernandes.
Yeah, Bruno all day long for me. Yeah. 10, and it is 10 for Bruno. Not many. It's a low total compared to all the others. Newcastle.
It's got to be Trips, isn't it?
Yeah, Trips is easy. I think Trips is the gimme in this one. Nottingham Forest.
I honestly don't know this one, mate. I was trying to think of anyone. I don't know. Elanga? I don't know.
The answer is Chris Wood because he's had a few where he's just had 3.
Because of Boxing Day, basically.
Yeah. A few said I'm going too fast. I'm just going to go back from Everton is Pickford. Fulham is Leno or Raul. Liverpool is Salah. Luton is Doherty. City is Haaland or Silva. United is Bruno. Newcastle is Trippier. Forest is Wood. I'll give you Sheffield United's. It's Archer. Did you get that one?
No.
Hard one,
blank. I couldn't even think of anyone who was good.
Tottenham.
It's got to be Son.
Sonny, it is Son. Yeah, well played. West Ham, you're all going to get this one wrong, I think.
Yeah, because I probably am too. I'm just going to say Bowen, but is that?
It's not Bowen. I would have gone Bowen. It's Kudus.
Already?
He hasn't played many either. He has clearly gone under the radar for me as a complete bonus beast. Yeah.
Wow.
He's creative, isn't he? And
he is. Yeah, it
he
makes
dribbles
sense.
and he has scored goals. So
I just thought across this season, Bowen would have outscored him.
Yeah, kudos. And then Wolves.
Wolves, I'm going to have to go with a player that I talk about all the time as their best asset. It's got to be Hwang.
Yeah, Hwang is level with Lamina. Mark went Neto, so did CH. Neto did do very well, but he's just missed too many games. And Hwang and Lamina. Lamina's an interesting one. You wouldn't have guessed him, but yeah, Hwang and Lamina on 10. Neto just below that, list. I think.
I got 14.
Oh, mate.
I got 14.
That is very, very good.
Tally up. So I'm very surprised and relieved at that. So this show is paying off. So thanks for all your teachings.
We got the answers on screen here, guys.
Yeah, screenshot that, everyone. That is actually really very interesting.
Yeah, in fact, CJ might even want to tweet that. It's quite good to see.
Yeah, it's a really good list. It's
the only thing we need to slightly tweak is Solanke or Neto for Bournemouth. My mistake. Yeah. Both got 10. We got some 12s, 10s, Mark 7. CH, my 17. Word, that is great.
Same.
That is so good, CH. Linus on 13. Admin. Yeah. CH is happy for a reason. Can anyone give us your scores regardless? Who are the big surprises? The biggest surprise, I think, for me was Kudus.
Kudus was a massive surprise. I didn't expect that one at all. Gross might have surprised me if I didn't do this show every week. And Dooney, I would never have guessed in a million years.
I wouldn't have gone Louise either. Douglas, I would have gone Watkins. I knew Louise was good, but Watkins has done. Watkins has scored more points in FPL than Haaland this year. Like Watkins has scored well in bonus too. But
yeah, that's a fair point. And yeah, Chris Wood caught me out as well, so that's a bit of a surprise. That's good, mate. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we might just go through this with this just one screen have for a Friday show just to get Chai's thoughts. And then it is Chai at 12 o'clock on Friday, guys. We're going to go an hour earlier than normal. So midday on Friday, do not miss. Me, Dean and Chai will be back then with another episode of Chasing Green Arrows. If you're just joining, go back and watch the last hour. It's been loads of fun. Thank you to all of our chasers. Hit the like button and subscribe button on the way out. For now, he's been Dean, I've been Gianni, and we've been Chasing Green Arrows.